So Hannah Arendt was a very interesting woman who was born actually when cars were still called horseless carriages in a place called East Prussia, a town called Königsberg, which doesn't even exist, and died on the Upper West Side of Manhattan after Watergate, after Nixon resigned, and when the Ramones were actually starting to play. So that's kind of a big expanse of a life. Along the way, she was German, Jew, intellectual, poet, and she had to flee. First, she had to flee the Gestapo in Berlin, and she was a real big part of the Weimar scene with people like Marlene Dietrich and Bertolt Brecht, and Einstein would stop by, Freud, the whole cabaret era. And she had to escape, actually, which was interesting. That was the first escape. Then she made it down to southern France with all the other refugees who were trying to get out of Europe, all corners of Europe. And there was a lot of surrealists there, everybody from Man Ray to Max Ernst, and on and on. And it was an incredible scene in Marseille, as you could imagine, very sort of Casablanca-ish, and Papers of Transit. She had to flee there, too, with the help of some people. And then she got to New York and again fell in with an incredible crowd. She was a woman who was what I would call a virulent truth teller. She lived through what she called dark times, and to survive that, she had to adapt not just physically through action, but her thinking evolved. And I would say that was what really, kind of brought me to the book. Like, how does a great thinker evolve based on the actions that they have to go through? And her life was, it was almost like, Alexander Dumas could hardly have scripted it, because it was a series of escapes.